Tonight, in a special edition of the Krypton Factor, 4 extraordinary Great Britons who in 1983 took on and conquered some of the world's toughest challenges. Julie Tullis, aged 44, a black belt in karate, who scaled 26,248 feet of K2, higher than any British woman has ever climbed. Richard Crane, 29, who with his brother ran the length of the Himalayas in 101 days and won the World Quadrathon Championship, a massive endurance test over land and water covering 80 miles without a break. Liz Hobbs, 23, holder of the British, European and World Water Ski Speed Championships, achieving a top speed on Lake Windermere of 75.97 miles per hour. And Peter Bird, 36, who on his own rowed across the Pacific Ocean. And here's your host, Gordon Burns.
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of the Krypton Factor, and I'd like to extend an especially warm welcome to our 4 remarkable contestants. To mountaineer Julie Tullis. To endurance athlete Richard Crane. To water ski champion Liz Hobbs. And Pacific rower Peter Bird. All 4 of them are supermen or superwomen in their own right, people who have truly left their mark on 1983. And 1983, therefore, will be the theme running through tonight's show. So let me now wish all 4 of them the very best of luck with the 5 rounds of the Krypton Factor, and we shall move into round 1, mental agility. And tonight, that takes the form of an audio-visual test. In a few moments, we're going to show the contestants 9 separate pictures of events that have taken place in 1983. As they study each one, a voice will make a statement about the picture. The contestants have to decide whether the voice is right or wrong, and in fact, the statement will be right on only 4 of the 9 occasions, and they must choose those 4. With that, contestants, can I ask you now to turn, please, and face your screens. We'll give you an example first, followed by the actual test.
For example, don't choose this picture if Nelson Piquet didn't win the World Drivers' Championship.
But in fact, you should choose that picture. 2 negatives make a positive, and Nelson Piquet did win the championship. Stand by, contestants. Here's your test.
Test number 1. Choose this picture if Mrs. Thatcher didn't lose the election. Test number 2. Don't choose this picture if Martina Navratilova didn't fail to win the women's singles at Wimbledon. Test number 3. Choose this picture unless Watson won the British Open. Test number 4. Choose this picture unless Courtier didn't win the Grand National. Test number 5. Don't choose this picture unless India won the Prudential World Cup. Test number 6. Don't choose this picture unless Neil Kinnock didn't win the Labour Party leadership election. Test number 7. Choose this picture unless Steve Davis didn't lose this competition. Test number 8. Don't choose this picture unless Manchester United didn't lose the FA Cup. And finally, test number 9. Don't choose this picture unless Steve Cram came in front of the man in 3rd place.
So the numbers to look out for on the indicator panels above the heads of the contestants: 1, 4, 5, 8. Let's have a look. Julie has gone for 1, 4, 5, 9, almost there, but she's got 3 right and 6 points, and a good start. Richard has gone for 4, 5, 8, 9, and he also has 3 right and 6 points. Liz, 1, 5, 7, 8, again 3 right and 6 points. And finally Peter, 1, 5, 8, 9, which is 3 right and 6 points. So, all that goes into the scoreboard, and at the end of the first round we have a 4-way tie. All 4 contestants have a Krypton Factor of 6. Well, you can't get a more even start than that. We go on now into round 2, which is physical ability. I suppose if you've climbed K2 or won a quadrathon or been the fastest person over water on 2 feet or rode the Pacific, then the Krypton Factor assault course shouldn't be too frightening a prospect. But I'll tell you this, I wouldn't envy anyone having to run it in freezing wet conditions in the month of December. But that's what they had to do.
On your marks, set, go!
Major Stan Meadows starts the race, and this is Julie Tullis, the woman who climbed K2, higher than any other British woman. She's also a mother of 2 and a karate black belt. Now it's Liz Hobbs, the British, European and world water ski speed champion. She went just faster than 75 miles an hour over Lake Windermere. But Julie in the lead, coming to the 6-foot wall. And over that, very nicely indeed. And now Peter Bird underway, the man who rode the Pacific from America to Australia. And now Richard Crane. There is, of course, a handicap system for age and sex on the course, and Richard, being the youngest man, starts at the back.
Keep your head low.
Liz Hobbs into the vertical pipes, but still in the lead now is Julie Tullis, nicely over the double bar gate. And Richard Crane trying hard to catch up, and almost comes off the log there, but swings across into the cargo net. Meanwhile, Julie Tullis and Liz Hobbs coming down the other side of the scramble net, and Richard going up the far side. So Richard beginning to close on the 2 women, but Julie hanging on to the lead, though just beginning to show signs of tiredness. Not so Liz Hobbs, though. Liz is looking strong as she comes towards the first of the water jump, and she makes a tremendous leap over that. In fact, I think she overdid it. She should probably have just aimed for the middle and waded through it. But she's in the lead now, just ahead of Julie Tullis, the mountaineer, who goes down in the water, and that'll be terribly cold in there because there are freezing conditions out here on the assault course. But Liz Hobbs now onto the Burma rope bridge, and she's just in the lead. Richard Crane is right on her heels, but it's been a marvellous run by Liz. She's looked good all the way down the course, still looks fairly strong, but Richard is right there with her, about to start his descent down the assault course, the wind driving across the course. But there goes Richard making his descent. He, of course, won the World Quadrathon Championship, where he had to swim 2 miles at sea, then walk 20 miles. He had to cycle 50 kilometres and finish with a full road marathon of just over 26 miles, all without a rest. This is Julie coming down in 3rd place, heading for the mud and the water at the end, and Peter Bird back in 4th. But Richard Crane, he won't be short of stamina, comes under the last obstacle and makes his way across the line to win the race. Well done, Richard. And Liz here is going to be 2nd from Julie, back in 3rd place. Here comes Liz, very tired at the end, just makes it across the line to get 2nd place. Peter Bird, the Pacific rower, is going to be 4th, and Julie Tullis, the mountaineer, comes across in 3rd place to get 4 points. Well, they all deserve a medal for that, but all they get are the points, and we enter them now into the scoreboard. And with 2 rounds gone, we've now got a clear leader with a Krypton Factor of 16. It's the man who ran the Himalayas, Richard Crane. On we go then into round 3, the intelligence test. And at this point, contestants can ask you to step down, please, behind those benches. And there you have in front of you the makings of a magic square. So your task is to reassemble those numbers into the various squares so that each row adds up to 21. And by each row, I mean vertically, horizontally, and the 2 corner-to-corner diagonals. Are you ready, contestants? The test starts now. Well, probably the best way to set about this is to place a 1, a 9, an 8 and a 3 in every column, which won't be so difficult for the vertical and horizontals, but the contestants may find it a problem when they check their 2 corner-to-corner diagonals. And then, having done all that, it's a question of swapping over numbers until all the rows add up to 21. Liz Hobbs, but Richard Crane here looking very good indeed. They're all adding up to 21. It looks like he's going to finish first in a very good time indeed. That's a marvellous performance by Richard Crane, the man who ran the Himalayas. 1st place. Now the battle for 2nd place. This is Peter Bird. A long way to go. Julie Tullis, almost there, I think. Just checking all the rows, vertically, horizontally and diagonally, and yes, they add up to 21 when that 1 goes in. So, mountaineer Julie Tullis gets 2nd place. Now Liz Hobbs be Liz or will it be Peter for third place? Well, there's 2 9s in a vertical column and a horizontal column for Peter, so he's a long way to go. Whereas Liz looks pretty close to me. A 9 popped into the top one and a 1, and that should do it. So Liz Hobbs, the water ski speed champion, gets third place, and that leaves Peter Bird fourth. 3 rounds gone, and extending his lead now, he's got a Krypton Factor of 26. It's Richard Crane. Well, still plenty of points left. Let's now test the powers of observation of our contestants with round 4. And we've got a clip now from a great favourite television series, All for Love. This one stars, of course, Gene Simmons and Ian Carmichael. This particular episode is called Down at the Hydro. And I'd like you contestants now to please turn and face those screens and stand by for the film clip, followed by some questions.
Roast duck. That's what I fancy. How about you, Reg?
Oh, steak and chips to do me fine.
Oh, shut up, you two. I can't stand it.
It's chunks of lean pork done in cream and paprika with green pepper and slices of apple. Oh.
High spirits this afternoon.
It's the lack of food. We're all getting a little lightheaded.
I was just thinking, looking around. What are you doing this afternoon?
Well, I had rather hoped I'd be spending it with you.
Where's she off to, I wonder?
Oh, can't you guess? She's been there for hours, holding on like grim death. That was quick.
Excuse me, but did you see anyone? It was you, wasn't it? You took it.
I beg your pardon?
You've taken my long chair again. How dare you?
We've stolen nothing, you silly old cow, and it's not your chair anyway.
It was my long chair if my ball of wool was on it.
Bowl of wool? I've seen you hogging those chairs. I've seen you pinching them before we've had our breakfast. I've seen you lying there hour after hour, day after day. You'll burst your bladder if you're not careful and serve you right.
Oh, you common woman.
That's it. Turn to the front, please, contestants. And I've got 2 questions for each of you, worth 2 points. And we start with yours, Julie. At the beginning of the clip, 4 people, 2 men and 2 women, walked to their table in the dining room. What was the man nearest the camera carrying in his right hand?
An apple.
No, it was a glass of orange juice. What was the actual dish the first man initially said he fancied?
Steak and chips.
No, it was roast duck. So I'm afraid you failed to score there. And your questions now, Richard. How many bites did we actually see Gene Simmons take out of the apple?
2.
No, just the 1. No points. What was the Christian name of the man who fancied steak and chips?
Charles.
No, it was Reg. So you failed to score as well. Let's see if Liz can get some points. When they were all outside, the bossy woman, who went off to the ladies, placed 2 things on her long chair to reserve it. One was a ball of wool. What was the other?
A magazine.
Correct, 2 points. When Ian Carmichael referred to high spirits, when there was a lot of giggling in the dining room. What did Gene Simmons give as the reason for it?
Lack of food.
Right. 2 points. You get the full 4. Well done, Liz. Now your questions, Peter. When Ian Carmichael was sitting outside in his wicker chair talking to Gene Simmons, he had a newspaper on his knee and 2 things in his hand. One was a pencil. What was the other?
Some glasses.
Correct. 2 points. When the bossy woman went indoors, what did Gene Simmons say that she, the bossy woman, had been doing for hours?
Doing it for hours.
Pardon?
Doing it? I mean,
What? No, that's what she actually hadn't been, really. It was
what exactly she'd been doing?
Holding on like grim death.
Ah.
So it's 2 out
Yes.
of the 4.
Exactly.
2 out of the... yeah, right. Well,
Okay.
sorry, it was 2 out of the 4 points.
Well, you knew
there,
it was
Peter.
there.
And we move on to an open section now. 4 more questions, worth a point each. But if a contestant gives me the wrong answer, well, then it's open for someone else to try. So stand by, contestants. Here we go. When Ian Carmichael and Gene Simmons were sitting outside, a table separated their chairs. What was sitting on the corner of it nearest to Gene Simmons? Julie.
An apple.
Wrong. Liz.
Glass of grapefruit juice.
Well, close enough. Glass of something. We thought water, but grapefruit juice will do. 1 point. Outside, besides Ian Carmichael, Gene Simmons and the bossy woman, how many people were sitting on chairs on the front gravel area? Peter.
5.
Wrong. Richard.
6.
Wrong. Liz.
4.
Wrong. Julie.
7.
No, it was 3. So we're all wrong, I'm afraid. On we go. The bossy woman was accused by the 2 other ladies of often stealing their chairs before Liz.
Breakfast.
Correct. What did the blonde-haired woman tell the bossy woman would happen to her before much longer? Julie.
She would get it.
No. Anyone else? No, the answer is she'd burst her bladder. And on we go then to the identity parade, worth another 2 points. And the person we want the contestants to pick out appeared twice in that clip. Once at the beginning, she was one of the 4 who sat down at the table in the dining room, and more prominently at the end, where she was one of those 2 ladies who attacked the bossy woman. Indeed, she spoke last. She was the one who accused the bossy lady of bursting her bladder in the not-too-distant future. So which one of these 9 is she? Stand by, contestants. Will you make your selections, please, now? And number 8 there is the choice of both Julie and Richard, while number 6 has been chosen by both Liz and Peter. So let's find out who it really is as we ask the person who was in that film clip to make herself known to the contestants now, please. There she is, number 6, in real life, actress Judith Barker. So, well done, Liz and Peter. They get the extra points, but still out in front with a Krypton Factor of 26. The man who ran the Himalayas and won the quadrathon, Richard Crane. So all to play for in this last round of general knowledge, and we change a little here from the normal rules. Individual questions first, but they will be questions about the area that the contestants here have expertise in. And after that, in the 90 seconds on the buzzer, we shall be asking them about things that happened in 1983. But we start with the individual questions, and with some mountaineering ones for Julie Tullis. Which mountain was Edward Whymper the first man to climb in July 1865?
The Matterhorn.
Correct, 2 points. What is the full name of the international body called the UIAA, which sets specifications for climbing equipment standards? Got to push you.
The Union Internationale
Just the 2 A's.
Alpinism. I don't know.
Well, you're so close. The end of it there is Des Associations d'Alpinisme, and forgive my French, but no points, I'm afraid. What was remarkable about the ascent of Mount Everest achieved by Reinhold Messner and Peter Habler in May 1978?
They climbed it without oxygen.
Correct. And 2 points. You get 4 of the possible 6. Well done. And we move on to your questions. Richard, what does the Sanskrit name Himalaya originally mean?
It means snowy mountains.
Probably good enough. Place or abode of snow. 2 points. Into which major river do the tributary rivers Tista, Radak and Manas flow? Which major river? Answer, please. Have a guess if you don't know.
Into the Ganges.
No, the Brahmaputra. Final question. Which country in the Himalayas has an orange and crimson flag with a dragon device in the center?
Bhutan.
Correct. 2 points. You too get 4 of the possible 6. Well done. Now your questions. Liz, in which country did Mike Hazelwood win his overall world title in 1977 when Cindy Todd won the women's title?
Great Britain.
No, it was in Italy, in Milan, in fact. When the World Championships were held at Thorpe in England in 1975, who was the American woman who won the overall slalom and jumps titles?
Karen Roberge.
No, Liz Allen Shetter. Final question. What is the nationality of the former world champions Carlos Suarez and Maria Victoria Carrasco?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What is the nationality of the former world champions Carlos Suarez and Maria Victoria Carrasco?
Israeli?
No, they're Venezuelan. Not to worry, on to Peter. Who sailed from California to Sydney in the 10-foot Yankee Girl in 1981, the smallest craft to make the journey?
Jerry Speece.
Correct, and 2 points. Who was John Fairfax's partner in Britannia 2 when they rowed the Pacific in just under a year in 1971-72?
Sylvia Cook.
2 more points. Who was the first man to row the Atlantic west to east in Super Silver in 1969?
Oh. I should know.
Push you for an answer.
It's a Scotsman.
2 more seconds. I'm afraid it's Tom McLean, which you knew, of course,
yes.
but I can't give you that. 4 out of the possible 6 points. And on we go now to the buzzer, 90 seconds on the clock. All these questions about events that happened in 1983. If a contestant gives me the wrong answer, then a point is deducted from his or her score. So stand by, contestants. Here we go. In which sport were championships won by Hal Sutton and Nick Faldo in Liz?
Golf.
Correct. Which island did the USA invade in October after Maurice Bishop, the Prime Minister, was killed? Peter?
Grenada.
Correct. Which country this year became the first for 132 years to take the America's Cup? Richard?
Australia.
Correct. Who won the Best Actor Oscar for his role in Richard Attenborough's film Gandhi? Julie?
Benjamin Franklin?
No, Ben Kingsley. For what purpose was the Denver boot introduced in London this year? Peter?
Parking.
Correct, to clamp on parked cars. Which English author won the 1983 Nobel Prize for Literature for books like Rites of Passage and Lord of the Flies? Peter?
William Golding.
Correct. Which country's international 15 won the 1983 Calcutta Cup in rugby? The answer is Scotland. Whom did Yitzhak Shamir succeed as Prime Minister of Israel in September? Peter?
Begin.
Correct. Who became the new chairman of the Coal Board in September, having previously been at British Steel? Richard?
McGregor.
Correct. Who was the first British man since the 1930s to win a Wimbledon title when he and Wendy Turnbull took the mixed doubles title this year? The answer is John Lloyd. Which former Labour Prime Minister was made a Lord this year? That's the end of the round and indeed the contest. The winner tonight is Richard Crane, the man who ran the Himalayas with a Krypton Factor of 32. Well, marvellous stuff and an excellent performance by Richard Crane, and I have here a cheque for £1,000 for him to present to the charity of his choice. So I'd like Richard to come down now and accept it. Richard Crane.
Thank you,
congratulations. That was super stuff.
Great.
Before I hand this over to you, you've won a quadrathlon, you've run the Himalayas, now you've been on the Krypton Factor. How does that compare?
Oh, excellent. I think it's all wonderful challenges to do, and anything we can do for the charity Intermediate Technology, to whom I would like to present the cheque, is just great.
Tell us a word about that charity. What do they do?
Well, they work all over the world developing small-scale tools, and these are things like more efficient cooking stoves or ploughs for the fields.
And why did you choose that charity?
Because myself and Adrian ran through the Himalayas for them, and we think that they are the most appropriate charity, really, to help the people without spoiling their culture.
I'm sure they'll be delighted to receive it, and I'm delighted to hand it over to you.
Thank you very much,
congratulations not only to Richard Crane here, but I think you'll agree to all the contestants here for making it such a super contest tonight, and they're going to join us here as we say good night to all of you. We shall be back for the 1984 series sometime in the middle of next year. If you want to be a contestant on that, now's the time to write to Granada Television for application form. In the meantime, we wish you a happy Christmas, a prosperous New Year, and we say good night.